What would you do if you had stage 4 lung cancer? That's what Richard has to figure out, and if your name is Richard, they never wanted to give you a chance. Richard's doctor tells him he has had several tumors for some time and should inform his family immediately. Richard asks how much time he has left, and the doctor tells him no more than 2 years even if they start treatment right away. Richard returns to work and says it in a meeting, then in front of a classroom of students. Can you guess what he'll say next? Dismissed fight. Richard approaches his supervisor Peter for a sabbatical but is informed it will take a year and can't be rushed. Richard then discloses that he has cancer, and Peter becomes more empathic. He exhibits more worry for Richard's sickness than Richard himself does. Peter asks Richard what he wants to do, and he answers he'll just ride it out without treatment. News break. Veronica is the wife, and we catch her in the middle of a heated affair. Next, they've just ended a less than exciting sexual session and are discussing it. Claire, Richard's classmate and wife's lover's daughter, helps a drunk. Richard and Claire go back inside for a nightcap. He tells her he has cancer, and after a little silence, she grabs his hand and dances with him. They share an intimate waltz and are about to kiss. We cut to the ER where Richard is laying in a hospital bed, clutching his chest. Peter bursts in and instructs Richard to slow down and eat grass. Richard agrees, and Peter leaves. Back at school, Richard is called in for a meeting with his wife's lover Henry. Henry tries to discipline Richard for his actions, but Richard calls out Henry for cheating on his wife. Henry also brings up that Richard is illegally moving funds around to pay for Veronica's art to be displayed on campus. Henry backs down after realizing he has no legs to stand on. Richard then delivers a killing blow by acquiring his long-sought-after sabbatical. So if you ever want to take some time off from work, have your wife cheat on you with your boss and then use that as leverage. As he leaves the meeting, he slows down and leans against a nearby wall. Things are just getting worse for poor Richard. Richard coughs blood onto a napkin, which his daughter finds. Claire gives a presentation at school. She says that the person someone loves at first is not the same person they love at last. The message she took from her chosen book was that love is not an end, but a process through which a person tries to know another. This really hits home with Richard and gives a new meaning to his relationship with not only his wife, but his friends and family.